Okay, so made this film so I could show you guys how to play NES, Super NES, other emulators on your iPad. Using a PS3 remote in this case, you can use Wiimotes and other remotes, but I had some trouble with the Wiimote. It connected, but it was difficult getting it connected, and I found the PS3 remote to work better. Also, the reason I made this tutorial again is because there's so many ones out there, and you know, a lot of them are specific to the iOS you're running. So I found an old iPad. This is an iPad 1. Okay. It was garbage. If you have an old iPad, they're pretty much garbage now. You can't do anything with them because of the software. It capped out at, I think, 5.1. So I'm running iOS 5.1. And I figured, hey, what can I do with this? Oh, well, let's jailbreak it, and I can play some video games on it. So here you go. Here's how you do it. You first got to start with jailbreaking it. Okay, so I said the first thing you need to do is jailbreak your iPad, and if you're going to do that, I used Absinthe. Just do Absinthe for Windows if you're on Windows, which I am. If not, Google that, watch a video or whatever on how to do it. It's pretty simple. Once you do it, you'll get the Cydia icon on your iPad. I think you might have to run as administrator when you plug in your iPad or something, but the video will show that. When you're done with that, in order to pair your PS3 remote, you're going to need this 6-pair access tool. Okay, so again, same thing. Just Google 6-pair access tool for Windows. I'm on 10. It doesn't, so watch a video and you'll see that, and then you'll get 6-pair access. And when you do that, what you're going to need to do is go into the tool. I think you might have to go through the folder, and folder that it's in is right here. Again, program files, 86, then 6-pair access tool, and then right here you're gonna run as administrator, and this is no device found because I haven't plugged in my I haven't plugged it in, but now I'm going to plug in a PS3 remote, and you see that the current master is this for the Bluetooth pairing code. What you're going to do, and what I'll do now, is show you how to get your Bluetooth code for the iPad, which will be able to sync it to your iPad because the iPad will recognize your PS3. So I'm going to show you how to get that on your iPad, and then you're going to plug it in here, you're going to update, and then you're done with that. Okay, now we got to find the Bluetooth number to sync with our PS3, and to do that you go into Settings, General, About, and right here you see this Bluetooth number, and you want to write that down, C8:BC :C8, whatever yours will be, C8, and put the colons in there, and this one 114B71. So write that down, and we go back to our computer and sync the PS3 remote. Okay, we're back, and we're gonna sync this Bluetooth, the PS3 with the Bluetooth. And to do that, go back to our 6-pair access tool, I'm going to run as administrator here. And that's what it is right now. And then we're going to change it to C8 or whatever yours says. I told you to write it down. BC C8 1 4B 7-1. That's it. You update it, you're done. And it should be ready to sync to the iPad now. Well, not yet, actually. We have to load some apps and tools onto the iPad first from Cydia. So let's go do that now. Okay, we're back at the iPad, and you'll notice some apps here. Yours won't show all those if you just jailbroke, but we're going to download or add these apps, the NES EMU, the Blue Troll, and the SNES EX. This one is for Nintendo, this one's for Super Nintendo, and the Blue Troll is an app that, well, I guess it assists in syncing your PS3 remote when you're running the NES emulator here. And it uses this B-stack functionality, and it gets enabled, I guess, when you open the NES emulator. So you need, I guess you need the Blue Troll in order for it to work. I believe I tested it without Blue Troll, trying to scan for the PS3 remote, but it didn't work because you need this B-stack functionality that is in Blue Troll, which automatically gets enabled, I guess, when you run this NES emulator. Okay, but first, I want to preface this with some of these emulators you get off different sources in Cydia have different menu options and functionality appears. So I'm going to show you the two that I used and where I got them from. I noticed some emulators, I believe on the NES or the SNES, didn't even have the option to scan for a PS3 remote. So be careful which one you download. They will work, but you know, where I got them from is they work from the source I got it from, and I'm going to show you that. The other thing I want to say is, on this I would suggest using RetroArch instead of these individual emulators, but on the iOS, on my iOS 5.1, I couldn't get RetroArch to work. So you might use RetroArch with another controller functionality app called Controllers for All. You could Google that. I really don't know how RetroArch works, but if you watch my other videos, I'm a big fan of RetroArch, and I would use it here if I could. But because I'm on an iPad, it didn't work for me. It just shut down. I try and open RetroArch, and it would just shut down. So the alternative is I'm running NES, this emulator, and SNES 9EX when I want to play Super Nintendo games. So how do you get these apps here? Well, you go into Cydia. It takes a little bit to load up, but it loads up. And you can go right away and look for NES emulators if you wanted to. You could just plug in NES and you'll get some. But what I want to show you how to do is add some sources. And by sources, these are, it's like Windows mapping a network drive type of thing. And the Cydia will look under these networks, so to speak, to find different apps or ROMs or whatever else you're looking for. So the two sources that I added are the Hack Your Phone and the Insanely I repository. You won't see those on yours, these two right here. But to get these, you're gonna edit, add, and right here you're gonna type in, for the Hack Your Phone, repo dot hack your iPhone .org, and you're going to hit add source. Okay, I already did it, so I'm not going to add source. Then you're going to do the insanely repository, and you're going to put repo dot insanely.com, and you're going to add source. You might have to put the last / actually on these. I'm not sure, but just put it, and then you're going to add source. Cancel, and then you'll have these two new sources, which will search for more options. Okay, so when you do that, after you get those two in, okay, when you go to search, you're going to get more options because it's pulling from more databases, so to speak. So I'm going to show you what I have installed here for the NES emulator that I got. If you go to the installed link down here, this will show you everything that's installed. And I installed NES EMU from Hack Your Phone. And then I installed the SNEX. It looks like I got this one from Big Boss, actually. So it doesn't even look like I used Insanely except to get some ROMs here. You can I'm going to show you at the end, you can add ROMs that right from Cydia. There's also a way to add ROMs from your computer, which I'll show you that as well if you can't find the ROM you're looking for, but you maybe have a special ROM online you want to get. Like I have, Tecmo Super Bowl 2014. It's not going to be in here. You're not going to be able to search any of these ROMs through Cydia, but you might be able to get it from another access point. And I'll show you how to get that onto your iPad. Okay. Now, let's go and search NES and hit search. Okay, now we're going to scroll, we're going to look through the NES, and this is the one I have, NES EMU from Hack Your iPhone. You can see it's checked over there. You're going to click that one and download that one. Then you're going to go back and you're going to go to SNES. You're going to hit search. And you're going to find the one I have is from Big Boss Games right here, SNEX. Okay. Now you'll see if you scroll down, there's all these ROMs. You can add ROMs directly from Cydia, or like I said, you can add them. I'll show you the other way to add them. I've added a few packs, which you'll see they automatically come up in your games menu when you open up your emulator. Okay, now the last thing that you're going to need is Blue Troll. Here I did get Blue Troll from Insanely tweaks from Insanely. So you're going to go here, you're going to type in Blue Troll. Blue Troll, search. It's going to come up right here, Blue Troll from Insanely. That's the one I use. Like, there's a Hack Your iPhone, there's a Big Boss. Oh, I think some of them actually cost money on some of these things. But so that's another reason why you add that source. So you're going to download that one. Okay. So Now you got them all downloaded. They should come up here. Okay. I'm going to open Blue Troll just to show you, but you don't. Oh, let me go back. The Blue Troll also has another method for syncing a PS3 remote where you copy the screen and then you do the button configuration. And you know, I had a hard time getting it to work on this because it says to pick the games from this menu here, and none of them would come up for me. All I got was my main apps. For those of you who may have the same problem or may use Blue Troll, I don't know. You know, I couldn't get my games to come up to take the screenshot and add, but it didn't matter. So anyway, you'll notice here I've just I don't really have anything going except when you hit this controller button here, I clicked on PS3 controller right here. Okay, and you can connect it straight from here, but when you go to the emulator, you actually connect it from there. So you don't really need to do anything, I guess, is what I'm saying with Blue Troll, unless you want to just select the PS3 actually part right here and sync it as a PS3 or get it ready to sync as a PS3. So now you got your emulators right here. We're going to open up the NES Emulator, okay? And you're going to scroll up and you're going to see scan for PS3 controller, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the thing. I'm going to show you what happens here. You're going to scan for PS3. You're going to push the button, and it's going to say connected down there. Then you're going to use you don't have to, but you're going to use your controller now just as normal, okay? Now, I will say this. If you do the scan for Wiimotes and use that, what was happening to me is I was using my finger, the touch screen, to load a game. And when I started using my finger to load the game, it wasn't using my Wiimote anymore. You had to use the Wiimote to select and load the game. And then it stuck on the Wiimote. But that's not true for the PS3. Okay, the other thing I would do here is there's some on-screen options. Just turn off your virtual gamepad. That's the screen, I believe, on the game. So anyway, now you can go up and you can load your game, okay? Now, all these I got from loading a ROM pack from Cydia. You'll notice all those, just load those ROM packs in Cydia, search NES, and then I showed you all those ROMs came up. So I got all the ROMs. You can scroll with the right. I don't know. You can play any game here, but so you're on there. You use the select button, start, and you can use your remote now. And go up. Okay, so the same thing is with the Super Nintendo. Okay. So anyway, let's get out of here. So if you go to the Super Nintendo, you have a scan for PS3. Now, the thing that I said, I believe there were a couple of these where I didn't have the option to scan for PS3, so that's why I used the one from either Big Boss or wherever I got this one from. Okay? So that's basically how you do it. And again, if you want to get ROMs added, you just go to the search menu and add ROMs. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add games from, say, a laptop or desktop into here if you have already ROMs on your laptop. And again, you can just search. You can put NES, and you can search, and then you can just add the ROM packs from here. find any. Don't know where. There we go. NES ROMs. I did all of them for the NES. I haven't done the Super Nintendo ones yet, but oh, and then the other thing is, if you do more remotes, right, you can play 2-player, etc. I believe you can play 4-player. I haven't tested that, but you know, the reason I use the PS ones instead of Wiimotes too is because if you're playing SNES games, the Wiimotes, some of them aren't any good, so you can use this for both. Okay, let's go back to the desktop and I'll show you how to load games onto your iPad from your desktop. Okay, this was the last thing I was going to show you that you don't necessarily need to do, but if you have a ROM or a ROM file on your PC or your laptop, and you want to transfer it onto your iPad so you can play, this is basically an FTP, a file transfer software that I use, and it is called WinSCP. It's over here, so just open up Explorer, Google WinSCP for Windows. I'm on 10. You go follow the instructions, download it. And then when you're done following the instructions, it'll look like this. You plug in your iPad. If iTunes pops up, get rid of it. I'm not going to update that. Let's see here. Okay. Then this will come up. You got your iPad plugged in to your PC with the proper cable. Now, it's going to ask you for your host name. Your host name is your IP address. You can get this on your iPad by going to your Wi-Fi settings, selecting the network that you're on, the Wi-Fi network that you're on, and going and then basically hitting the green arrow that's the information arrow on your Wi-Fi. There's other ways to get your IP address too, but for now you punch it in here. I'm going to skip over this part so you don't have my IP address for now, but I'll still log in. And then in the username, you're going to put root and then password ALPINE, Alpine. Okay? And then you're going to log in. I'm going to do that now. Okay, so once you get logged in, the left side is where you're going to look for your files that you want, and the file that I want to get, let's see, the files that I want to get are in these SNES ROMs. Come on. Okay, and so I got them over here. So I want to get, let's see, these two classic games that I have, the NHL 94, but with the 2012-2013 rosters. Okay, so I'm going to put them in the directory for putting these ROMs in. I believe is root, private, VAR, mobile, media. And I created a ROMs folder, I believe, in a SNES and NES. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to take these two files. I was going to take those two files. I'm going to take these two files, and I'm just going to drag them over here. And I already have them on there, so I'm not going to overwrite. So no, no. So they are on there, right there. You can copy, paste, whatever, other ways to get them over. I drag them over, whatever. There's probably other ways. Anyway, okay, and once you do that, then you go back to your iPad and you can load up those games. Okay, we're back to our iPad, and I added an SNES game, so I'm going to open up my SNES emulator. Going to go to Scan for PS3. I'm going to hit the button. It's going to lock in. Now I can load game. I'm going to go down to my NHL game, which I added. Okay, it's this one right here, and select. Let it load. This is a special one. See how I got Dustin Brown and Kovalchuk and Doughty. So this is a special game, and this is why you kind of use the PS3 remotes, because if you're playing games like this, like from a Super NES, then you need to have a PS3 remote instead of the Wii remote, unless you have the Wii with the classic. So anyway, enjoy. That's the end of the video.